Some are not even surprised at this behavior since it seems nearly anything and anyone related to FIFA has a track record of absolute corruption. You see, not many people see behind all the glitz and the celebration on the outside. It can even be said that they use all that glitz to demoralize the sport of football instead of bringing it honor and respect. This may be going too far, okay, especially as the beautiful sport still rises passion in many people everywhere, and FIFA itself has partnered with Interpol to put an end to the corruption. Okay, I understand that, that's beautiful, but it is a fact, you have to admit, that match fixing and betting plots always take place from people involved in organized crime worldwide where FIFA is concerned. Players, referees, and officials get frequently coerced into rigging results. Threats, murders, extorts, and huge sums of money are passed all the time under the table. So much so that drug traffickers worldwide have now turned to match fixing. Well, isn't that progress?
This thing called FIFA, it happened in Brazil in 2014, and it had so much money spent. But did they use any of that money to help their own less fortunate people? No. The money was instead used to build a stadium that would not even be utilized again. It was used to build infrastructure that made transportation even worse in Brazil. Remember land rights? Well, it went out the door when about 250,000 people were evicted from their homes because their government wanted their land to build the World Cup event. A lot of this land is land that should have been made private years ago, but it was not. And they, the government, actually blame the people living there, saying it is public so the government can do whatever they want with it. That's not fair to the people. Neighborhoods and communities that were built up for so long and have a real culture, real history, all gone. The people did not receive their property titles, and somehow that actually makes it okay for the government to destroy them. If you think our housing department is corrupt here in Trinidad, it was revealed that Brazil's housing department actually made homes knowing that they would be demolished. They never let any resident know that, even though they knew what would happen. Well, I hate to say it, but perhaps the same thing is now happening here in Trinidad and Tobago. Even where reimbursement and compensation is concerned, the price of the properties far outweigh the reimbursements and the reparations handed out by the government to the people. Sometimes they don't even get compensated. Do you know that? Sometimes the families refuse to move and are brutalized by the police. This is what makes the poor hate the rich so very much. Think about this. Outside of the event of FIFA World Cup 2014, protesters protested with signs that said, "We don't need the World Cup. We need money for hospitals and education." FIFA even had to censor an indigenous boy protesting at the opening ceremony. He used that opportunity to talk about the unfair treatment of his people by FIFA. So much land has been stolen from the original people there in Brazil, and that land has been used for commerce, of course. Did you know that the people are forced to live in overcrowded reservations? Now, these people that we speak of are known as the Guarani people. Now, isn't that story familiar? Isn't that the same thing that happened to the Native Americans in America? And isn't it what is happening to our own people now? Because we allow the rich and the politically powerful to be able to do it. The more we allow it, the more it will happen. Now, why speak of the corruption in FIFA? Well, there is a reason. There is a deeper level and a deeper link that we would like you to see. It's not just about land rights. Dr. João Havelange, who got the Center of Excellence named after him, was actually the former president of FIFA. And more importantly, Dr. João Havelange was born in Brazil and is directly related to one of the top officials in charge of Construtora OAS. Yes, that means there is a link between FIFA and Construtora OAS. The top official is Ricardo Teixeira, an executive in OAS, and he was married to Havelange's daughter, Lucia Havelange. They divorced after 30 years of marriage. Now, being a top exec in OAS does not just mean big money, which I'm sure Ricardo had, but it also means a lot of controversy and many allegations of corruption. Ricardo Teixeira has been implicated in a number of corruption charges related to the Brazilian Football Federation. And would you believe he was the president of that federation? It seems everyone here in corruption is connected. An example of his known corruption is found in his time serving on FIFA's executive committee, where he and his former father-in-law, João Havelange, took more than $41 million US in bribes. And this was in connection with the awarding of World Cup marketing rights. They awarded it to people illegally, taking bribes for who would get those marketing rights. Now, OAS is not only the Brazilian company illegally destroying homes in Trinidad, but OAS was directly hired by Minister Jack Warner himself in 2011. And this is when Jack Warner worked as Minister of Works and Transport before he came to being National Security Minister.
Perhaps it is a small world after all, with everything connected.
What chance do a small group have against all of this? Not much, unless a whole nation is willing to stand with them and exercise the same type of connection, brotherhood, fellowship of people that these corrupted people are exercising to take advantage. Remember, it is only because they are together that they take advantage. It is only because we are divided and apart that we allow other people to come and conquer us.